It's an honor to be here with you today to announce this very special highway program that is now available to all Alabama counties.
Good morning. My name is Jim Byard, and I'm the director of ADECA, and I am so pleased to welcome you to Alabama's capital on what is really a hallmark day for our Yellow Dot program across the state. So what we're here to do is we're here to celebrate because Bullock County is Alabama's 67th county that will join the Yellow Dot program. Back in 2008-2009, Laura read about this program in Connecticut, and she has been the champion who has gone from city to city and county to county promoting Yellow Dot. She's the one that came to ADECA and said, we need Yellow Dot. So it gives me great pleasure, I call her the Queen of Yellow Dot, to introduce Alabama's Queen of Yellow Dot, Laura Weaver.
Yellow Dot is a program designed to aid emergency responders by providing vital medical information following a motor vehicle crash, which will expedite emergency care and provide Alabama citizens with the best possible chance of surviving their injuries. Yellow Dot began as a pilot program in Etowah County in 2009, and even though we envisioned it as a statewide program from its inception, it is humbling to know that now citizens in all of Alabama's 67 counties will have access to this life-saving program. As the program spread across our state, we saw many milestones along the way. Alabama was the first state in the nation to develop a decal specifically for motorcycles. And because of our county-by-county approach and the support of our local media, we caught the attention of USA Today and other national publications. This exposure allowed us the opportunity to assist states across the nation as they sought to develop a Yellow Dot program for their state. Since that time, the states of Illinois, New York, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and others have developed a statewide Yellow Dot program. It is gratifying to know that because of our efforts in the state of Alabama, lives are being saved through Yellow Dot in many states across the nation. At this time, it is my honor to introduce our next speaker, Ms. Bethany Chancellor.
My name is Beth Chancellor, and I've been asked to share my family's story and how we could have benefited with Yellow Dot approximately 2 years ago. At that time, we were an average family. My husband and I had met as teenagers, but we didn't begin dating until years later. We had 2 sons who were 7 and 14 months at that time. We lived modestly and loved our simple little life together. He worked hard in construction, and I was a social worker for our local DHR. Our older son played youth league sports, and we couldn't wait for our younger son to get old enough to do so. We weren't obsessed with safety, but took precautions, especially when it came to our kids. Overall, I considered us a fairly safe family, but we weren't preoccupied with preparing for emergencies. Not too long after our younger son was born, my mom suggested that I program her along with other immediate family members in my cell phone as ICE. I didn't know what that meant, but she explained that was for in case of emergency. Both my husband and I had done that. We felt like that was being proactively safe. A little silly and unnecessary, I thought at the time, but safe. Also, we hadn't been out socially since learning I was pregnant with our younger son in April 2011. However, on February 2nd, 2013, we decided to go have dinner with friends. They have a little girl, and so we wanted to let our kids play together. And so we did that. I'm told we had a very good time that evening and stayed later than intended because the kids were having so much fun. But I don't have any memory of that evening because on our way home, which was only about a 20-minute drive from our friend's house, we were hit head-on by a drunk driver. My husband, Mike, was killed instantly. I was unconscious, critically injured, and wasn't expected to survive the transport to the hospital. Our older son, Peyton, was barely conscious and also critically injured. Lawson, who was our younger son, was only 14 months at the time, and he was unable to communicate. He was found screaming, his car seat the only thing saving him from major injury. My cell phone battery had went out earlier that evening, and my husband had forgotten his cell phone at home. so our in case of emergency contacts weren't available to responders. We weren't well known or high society, high profile people, and weren't immediately recognizable due to injury. In fact, first on the scene was a guy with whom I graduated high school. He didn't know I was me until much later when he saw my driver's license passed around. Emergency responders, most importantly my children, needed someone to meet them at the hospital to make critical medical decisions. DHR was contacted and sent some of my coworkers to Children's to wait with my little ones because the hospital couldn't treat or admit my children without a responsible party. My director was able to connect emergency responders to my family only because I worked there and she knew I had family in the area. Had I not been an employee of DHR, it could have taken much longer to identify and notify relatives, leaving my children wards of the state and waking up injured and scared in a hospital surrounded by strangers. Yellow Dot is a program that can prevent some similar scenario from happening to you or your children and is simple and easy to register for. Your family's information isn't stored in some distant computer system for anyone to be able to access, but it's only handwritten on a card which you keep in your vehicle. A yellow dot on your rear windshield alerts emergency personnel that you have this information available. In response to my family's tragedy, I definitely tell others not to drink and drive and want to share that message today as well. Please, please, please don't drink and drive or allow others an opportunity to do so.
It is not about us, it's about the service that we can render to somebody else, even though we might be a recipient of that program. Now I feel comfortable. Now I can go anywhere in Alabama with my yellow dot on my vehicle. If I have incapacitated first responders, look in my glove compartment and you can find all the information about St. T. Thomas Jr.